rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledged knowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who weak hearted, been using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawn. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one chief rockin' Knicks universe. Your main man, Uncle Freezy. Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly. Right? All right. I see y'all, everybody. What's good? Everybody, what's good? Salute to Andios. Salute. Wiz is in the building. We ain't seen or heard from Wiz in a minute. Man. Will Salkin is in the building. Salute to all the members of the channel, man, that support in all different types of way, man. Much love to y'all. I'm gonna pull up the numbers here, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. I really want to talk about Knicks role players tonight. I really want to talk about, and this is me, right? This is just me, and this is my preference or whatever, however the conversation goes in theory, as long as it's, sensible, I'm willing to be open to just about any conversation, but I'd really love to talk about some Deuce McBride, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Precious Achiuwa. Right. I really like to talk about some Deuce McBride. Tonight, 5 of 7 from the floor, 3 of 3 and assists, 2 steals for 14 points. I'm impressed by that. I'm impressed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm impressed by what I saw from Deuce McBride tonight. Anybody else impressed by Deuce McBride? Kingdom Up says Deuce come a long way. Deuce, yeah, Deuce has come a long way. Yeah, he paid his dues. Indeed. Precious Achiuwa, a proud New Yorker, did his thing tonight. Hartenstein's rim protection tonight was on point. Man, a lot of things went well for us tonight, man. I'm not even going to lie to you. A lot of things went well tonight. Like, I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to lie to you. The Orlando Magic legit could have dampened our season, and we did not allow them to dampen our season. Right? We didn't allow the Orlando Magic to dampen our season. We came out of the gate, got out of the gate fast on Orlando. Shut down what they'd like to do initially. They couldn't recover, and to me, that was impressive. Wiz says, I am not. He is performing below the standard that I know he can. I don't understand what Wiz is saying right here, but I think I understand. It's kind of I think I understand where Wiz is going. It sounds a little passive aggressive, maybe slightly, but I mean, whatever, whatever. I appreciate what Deuce did tonight. Let me just put it that way. I don't know if so he's got so Wiz has some laughing emojis in there, so he might be trolling. So yeah, so Wiz might be trolling. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think Deuce is making his way. Deuce is making his way. He's definitely got us thinking that we don't necessarily need Alec Burks as much as we thought we would need Alec Burks. Right? Even though I think Alec Burks, I think Alec Burks is gonna turn the corner. I think Alec Burks is gonna turn the corner. I think Alec Burks is gonna be good for us. But I do think Deuce stepping up is a welcome addition. Precious Achua. Hey y'all, we're gonna have to find some minutes for Precious, y'all. We are gonna have to find some minutes for Precious. I don't think you can put Precious on the bench. I think Precious hit 2 threes tonight. I'm just gonna check to be sure. I think Precious hit 2 threes. Precious was 2 of 4. Precious was 2 of 4 from 3. 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 5 blocks for 15 points. Precious Achua really, really, really impressed me tonight. I think Precious impressed tonight. Deuce impressed tonight. Josh Hart played really well in my eyes. I don't know if the scoring. Yeah, Josh Hart had 19. Josh Hart did good tonight, so I'm certain we won't hear anything from IKBM Dre about. I'm sure we won't hear anything about Dre tonight since Precious says Josh Hart did good. And Hit Him Up says Tibbs should have taken Brunson out the game up by 23 with 4 minutes left. He never learned. Yeah, we were keeping an eye on that. We were keeping an eye on time and score during the game. During the game, we were keeping an eye on time and score. Like, does this team, is this lead too big to overcome? Is this lead too big to overcome? Is this lead too big to overcome? And Tibbs did it in a very Tibbs-like way. Tibbs did it in a very Tom Thibodeau-like way. Keeping his foot on the neck of an opponent. But things are what they are in Knicks land right now. We're happy because we won. We won. We're happy. Nothing to complain about, so to speak. We got to see Shake Milton. You know what I'm saying? We blew out Orlando. We won. Right? 10 or 12 Knicks played tonight. We got to see Shake Milton. Role players thrived tonight. So it's like one of those situations where the only way you can really complain is if you're just a complainer. Right. If you're just if you're just a complainer, just want to complain about anything, then tonight is your night to whatever. But most Knicks fans, we thought outset everything was pretty good. Mets, what's good, man?
So look, Freezy, I'm gonna be blunt. This was not the outcome I was expecting tonight.
Okay.
I mean, at best, I figured we put up a fight, but still losing a close one. And at worst, I figured the Knicks were going to get clobbered.
Right.
You can't blame me for that.
Right. I think a lot of fans expected that. But the Knicks come out with a victory tonight. For the most part, it's not about, in my opinion, it's not necessarily not about the worst case scenario. In this case, we just have to deal with the result. And the result is the Knicks blew out Orlando in a game that a lot of fans, you and I included, felt like was fairly important. It's one of the questions I asked you earlier on the Knicks morning drive about if this game was important to us. And I think we all agreed that, or all were in a roundabout way thinking this game was very important in terms of not the standings, but just morale. And if we get a win like this, then it should be a significant boost to our morale, I think.
Next up is Philadelphia, who have no Tyrese Maxey due to a week-long concussion protocol.
Right.
And then after that, West Coast trip, easy pickings with Portland. And then we're going to be in for some dog fights with Golden State, Sacramento, and Denver.
Right. I want to celebrate tonight, man. Or not celebrate, but I want to just soak this one in, man. I think this one was really important to us. And we got it, and we imposed our will, and they for the most part were completely healthy, and we were down 3 starters still. And so I think we sent a message to Orlando that, this is a better team right now. Our arrow is pointing up, is stronger than their arrow pointing up at this point.
Yeah.
If they couldn't beat us fully healthy.
Tonight we said we will not go quietly into the night. We will not perish without a fight. We were going to fight to survive. We were going to fight to live on.
Right. That's a famous quote from somewhere. I can't remember where.
Independence Day.
Right. Bill Pullman, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I read recently. I read recently where the writing team for that movie wrote that as a placeholder speech until they can come up with something better. But Bill Pullman, he did such a great job with that they were like, nah, we don't need another speech. This right here is perfect. So, but yeah. So we have the Sixers coming up on Sunday, and they are struggling.
And again on Tuesday.
Yep, and they are struggling. I just watched the Eat Sleep Sixers podcast on YouTube. Jenny from the block and BG were they sound similar to what we sound like on the Knicks at Night podcast.
Yeah,
a lot of injuries, a lot of role players that are inconsistent, the coach not necessarily pressing the right buttons. So they sound similar to us.
Especially when you have a team that was down 30 to the Pelicans and had to fight back and still end up losing by about, 7 or 10?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So they did show some heart. They did show some fight. So
they did the same thing to us last couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sleep on the Philadelphia games or any game left going forward. So we're under 20 games left, and whatever the outcome is, whatever the outcomes are, I feel confident that this Knicks team is going to be competitive in all those games. I don't see us getting blown out in any of these games, and it may happen. And it may happen. Sometimes it's just not your night. But I think the Knicks have something on the line. So I think the Knicks have something that they want to prove.
One thing I want to ask is, what does Tibbs think he's got to lose by starting Sims over Hartenstein in the next couple of games? I mean, he's been limiting Hartenstein because of that blasted Achilles, and at least Sims has been able to show more productivity. Sure, not in the scoring range, but at least in terms of getting the rebounds.
Right. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want to answer that honestly. You want to be frank, right? My thing is with Thibodeau, I think they have inside information that we don't have, and that's driving their decision-making process.
So I say break the walls down. Let's him become the Judas in his mind.
Well, it's one of those things too, though. The more you share with the public, the more the other 29 NBA teams know about you too. So,
True.
So I guess they play it slightly close to the vest,
Mm-hmm.
just so that they're not giving away intel to the opponent. But at the same time, I can see where you're going with the Jericho Sims and Hartenstein thing, man. Listen, I really like Hartenstein at center. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like Hartenstein. I like the mix of, and it's gonna sound strange, and so y'all don't judge me on this, right? Just allow me to have this moment. But there is a weird lineup of Brunson, DiVincenzo, Bogey, Hartenstein, and maybe Precious Achua that I like. Maybe Josh Hart, right? I like the fact that Hartenstein can dribble, pass, and shoot at center. I like the fact that Bogey is a sniper, right? And I like the fact that Dante is a sniper and a defender. And so I kind of like seeing all those guys together where you can spread the floor and drive the lane, threaten the rim, and shoot threes. I kind of like the thought of that. And not just some conjured up Lord of the Rings scenario. What I'm saying is I think it makes great basketball sense to threaten all three levels of the defense all at once, where defenders have to think and react instead of dictating the pace to you.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Berry Sports Highlights is in the building. Salute. Yeah, man.
I mean, seriously. In the middle quarters, we outscored Orlando 49-31. That is just sad on the part of the Magic.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I want to give credit to the Knicks defense.
True.
Right? When we were watching the game while the game was actually happening, there were some closeouts and some defensive looks that Tom Thibodeau implemented. Another adjustment Tom Thibodeau made was letting Precious Achua guard Paolo Banchero by himself. Right? He let him guard him by himself on an island, but had Isaiah Hartenstein spying him at the rim. So if he ever beat Precious, Hartenstein would be there to cut off the lane. I think it was a genius move, right? Because for one, Precious Achua held his own against Paolo Banchero on an island wherever he was on the floor, regardless of what quadrant that Banchero initiated his offense from. Precious Achua was there to defend it and cut certain things off.
I mean, Banchero was only 45 from the field overall, 60 from the stripe, and 2 out of 3 from the behind the arc.
Yeah. But all the shots he took though were not guarded by Precious Achua. But if you break down the looks that Precious Achua was guarding him, I think he dunked on Precious viciously one time. That wasn't Precious's fault though. And then he shot a dagger 3 in Precious's face where a great basketball player just hit a great shot. Right? But for all the other shots that Banchero tried over Precious, those were ground out shots against Precious. Right? So he hit some, but he missed a lot of them. And then there were some shots where Orlando ran drag screens to get Precious off of Banchero, and Banchero was one time he got switched on to Dante, the other time he got switched on to Bogey, and then he got Josh Hart a couple of times. But for the most part, I think our defense tonight is probably the best defensive performance that we've seen in years. Not just by score either, right? Not just because they only scored 70 whatever point, 75, 74.
24.
It's not just because of that. It's because their shot attempts were being smothered by Knicks defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Big Buddy is in the building. King Imbert was good. King Ribby is in the building. Salute.
Let's bring him in.
Yeah, man. So tonight, I think we got King Ribby. Tonight, we got everything we wanted. We got a win and a blowout, right? Most of the role players stepped up and looked solid, at least solid. They looked at least solid, right? You got quality minutes from Hartenstein. You got quality minutes from Sims and Achua. The wing players.
And to a lesser extent, you got quality from Deuce.
Yeah. So you got a quality play all around. It looked like the team that we expected against Golden State and Atlanta.
Now, I did ask a question of Gmo when I called him about an hour or so ago when I was on his show. Should, in the chance that OG comes back in time for Sunday, who do you bench, Burks or Deuce?
I think Josh Hart goes to the bench. You mean in the rotation? You know, who do you play, Burks or Deuce?
Yeah.
I think you got to play Deuce, but I don't think Burks is gonna get taken out of the rotation because he's a dependable vet. His shot is just not good.
OG Anunoby.
Salute, Ribby.
Oh, salute everybody. Salute Freezy. Salute Mets. Salute to the chat. I like the game, man.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie. That was a good win. Fantastic win. I think that's the best win of the season.
Best win of the season. Okay.
Yeah, in my opinion. I don't know a win that was better than that. And with a depleted team like we got, and they was mostly had
Healthy.
everybody,
Yeah.
like nah. I'm happy.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'm with you on one of the better wins of the season. In my opinion, it's not the best win of the season. In my opinion, and it's nothing against the win or the loss. I feel like the win against Denver at the Garden was the most impressive win for us, right? Because they're the defending NBA champs. You know, we were trying to establish something, and at the time that they entered the Garden, at that time, people were calling us a fluke, and they said we hadn't played anybody. Remember that? Remember when we're hot? Like, oh, they're only winning because they're not playing anybody, and then Denver came in there and we beat the brakes off them.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But
So
it was 0-3. And we just came and just mollywopped them, like just obliterated them.
right.
And our like 3 or 4 top players is injured. was only
Right.
Brunson.
Right.
So I don't know. I think that's my
The way I see
best
it,
thing.
it was more like the Magic got overkill civilized. I mean, they've beaten us like what, 5 in a row, dating back to last year, going into tonight.
Like
Seems like
yeah,
it. Yeah.
And when you get that kind of a winning streak against a team like the Knicks or any team that's legitimately good, you get civilized. You know, they start looking like they're not hungry anymore. And the team that is hungry, they're gonna moralize you.
yeah.
That's what happened to the Magic, I think. They were getting cocky. They got civilized. They let the glamour of, oh my gosh, we've won 5 in a row over New York the last year plus, get to their heads.
Right. Right. Yeah. Honestly, I think that the Knicks defense just choked them out. And to be honest with you, King Ribby, and I know this is going to sound bizarre, right? But don't judge me on it, right? A
Hmm.
fully rested Knicks team, right? A fully healthy Knicks team defeated a Cleveland team that was number 2. It was the number 2 seed at the time, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Right? Remember how we beat Cleveland or whatever? When they were the number 2 seed, they still may be the number 2 seed. I'm not for sure. I don't care.
It depends on what
But
the Bucks do against the Lakers tonight.
yeah,
And right now they are
yeah. But
down
what I'm saying is, at the time, they were the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference when we beat
Mhm.
them, and they didn't have Donovan Mitchell, and we didn't have Jalen Brunson. So if you're Cleveland, you can't make an excuse, right? But we defeated the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference coming when we were relatively fresh, and then we beat the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, right? When we were relatively fresh, and with Jalen Brunson coming off an injury.
and we took back the 4th seed.
Right, right. And so
Did you?
the point that I'm making though is, when this team is relatively rested, we can compete with anybody in the NBA, I think. Just Knicks is in the building. Salute to Just Knicks.
Yeah, because I'm not even thinking about Randall and OG
Right,
and Mitch.
right, right, right. Some of that is just, and you can't, and you in this case you really can't say that it's a certain guy played, Tom Thibodeau's playing a guy a bajillion minutes a game. It's the entire team looked fresher. They just needed fresh legs. With so many guys out, with so many guys injured, um, you know, when you're depleted like this, when you're a public enemy number 1 to the injury bug, it's gonna have these types of scenarios where the public, when the injury bug marks you as his mortal enemy,
Or is it,
you're gonna be in these type of situations.
or if the bug marks you as his all you can eat buffet.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's one of those situations where you just gotta hold on until you either get slightly fresh, get some days rest, or the reinforcements come. And I think tonight we were fairly rested, and this is basically how we look against most teams in the NBA. JW is in the building. JW says, when healthy, we are balanced. When healthy, we are deep and well balanced. I agree.
True.
I agree. And Big Buddy says, I heard Mitch has screws in his ankles. I don't think Mitch
Yeah.
game. Yeah, yeah. Um,
If he
um,
has screws in his ankles, don't take, and he has to get another surgery, hypothetically, if he gets injured in the future, don't go on a plane,
yeah,
especially if you're fresh off the surgery. I mean, we all know what happened in 2005 to a certain wrestler who was so stubborn that he got on a plane after a surgery with screws in his legs and he died from a blood clot.
It's one of those things. I know what you're talking about, and the yeah, and he should have done that. He should have.
Yeah, Chris Candido death.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing with Mitch, I'll say this: is there he's got the surgical screws, and modern technology, man, has improved so much.
Exactly.
Even from 2005, even from 2005, bro. Like there are some things now, like now I don't even have to check my blood sugar with a thing anymore. I can wear like this patch on my arm, and it'll send things to my phone. Right? It'll just let me know. I don't even have to prick my fingers anymore. You know what I'm saying? So modern technology is something else. But also about Mitch, what I will say is having a healthy and rested Mitchell Robinson for the playoff run might be a blessing in disguise. Might be. Sherwin says Precious can hold it down until Randall comes back. We are now seeing the Precious who can put the ball on the floor and get to his spots. Yep. Sherwin, I'm here to tell you, I think Tom Thibodeau develops talent, just not young talent. Right? Tom Thibodeau is like he's a high school teacher, right? Tom Thibodeau is not an elementary school or primary school teacher, bro. Like you don't want Tom Thibodeau. You remember that movie Kindergarten Cop? I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger was like a kindergarten teacher or something.
Undercover cop playing as the role of a kindergarten teacher. Yeah.
Yeah, you may not want that. You know what I'm saying?
Shut up! Shut up!
You can't. Yeah. So he's not like a college professor.
Yeah, probably so.
Exactly. Probably. Like he just said a college, like a teacher, like what? A school teacher, like. Yeah, I think he a little higher than that.
Yeah, maybe, and I mean, and that's your opinion too, and you welcome to it. Like, you know what I'm saying, your own opinion or whatever. Yeah. But the reason why I was making a comparison is because you don't want your kindergartners or your preschoolers around Tibbs.
Great question. You know, what was the faults that took him out?
I think it was I don't think they know for certain. But when the game was over, I clicked it, got out of here so I could take my dogs outside. So I didn't get a chance to research or whatever. But if anybody in here that owns a pet, you know when your dog got to go outside, your dog got to go outside. So my dogs basically told me I can check on Markel's full leg injury later. But it did look nasty, though. It did look like a hyperextension.
Knee injury, from what they're saying.
Yeah.
He always getting injured.
Yeah. And Sherwin says Randall has been playing with screws in his feet since 2015. Yep. Leaving Kentucky. I think Sherwin, which one are you referring to? Are you referring to the foot surgery after he went to the NBA Combine, or are you talking about the surgery after he broke up with the Lakers? Either way, I think both require screws. And Sherwin says Joel Embiid has been playing with screws since 2014. Bro, I boxed with screws and a rod in my leg. A doctor wasn't going to let me do it because if you look at your leg, you know the size of your femur bone, right? You know how your thigh bone or whatever.
Yeah.
I was in a car accident where I broke the small bone that fits into your hip socket, and I broke. I think I broke my thigh bone in 7 places. So they put a rod in there so that my thigh bone could heal, and then put screws into the bone to anyway. I still have those in my leg right now, right? But I was able to box, getting boxing matches and all that stuff with those type of injuries. And ironically, the injuries that I got in boxing had nothing to do with that. Right? I got injuries in other places because I was just a bad boxer. But not bad. I'll say above average. I'll say I was pretty decent, pretty good.
1 through 10, what'd you rank yourself? 10 being the highest.
10 being what's the highest?
10.
No, I know you. I heard you say 10 is the highest, But what I'm saying is, who would you put in that category of a 10? Mike Tyson?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Okay,
I
so
would
I'm
say
definitely not a 10.
I
Then
would have
I'm
said
probably
like
somewhere like a 4.
I would have said someone like a Holyfield, Lex Lewis,
Yeah, I'm definitely not.
Adebayo.
I've definitely never been. As a matter of fact, if I was that good, y'all probably would not have.
Exactly.
I definitely wouldn't be doing this right here. Y'all would have heard of me for a different reason. Y'all just saw me on TV or something.
You're definitely not. You're definitely no Brockton
Yeah.
blockbuster.
Right. So I'll put it in. I'll walk it back some. So I'm not a Michael Jai White, a Mike Tyson, or anybody like that, right? And then there are, and I'll put Bruce Lee in that category too. Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, all those guys in that category of 10 level fighters. And then there are maybe in that group of 7 where it's like your MMA fighters and all of
No,
them.
I know one
Maybe
fighter.
Steven Seagal. Huh?
I know a fighter. Kimbo Slice.
He's passed away, right? I think I think he passed away, but I think in a sanctioned boxing match, I would have beat him.
Oh, okay.
Right, but in a street fight, I think I might have took an L. I ain't gonna lie. When anything goes, I think he might have got me. Right, but in a boxing match, I definitely that dude ain't beating me.
Okay.
But anyway, so if you ask me like where I am on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna say definitely above street brawler. Like dudes on the street ain't just gonna walk up to me and win. Period. That's just not gonna happen. Right? I don't care who you are. You just like dudes just walking, especially back then. Like dudes just walking up to me off the street. I don't care about whatever. I don't care where you from, how tough you thought you were. And you know what I'm saying? Back then, nah, I'm not losing to street dudes, right? But professional guys, I would struggle and have to train. So if you ask me in general, probably like a 3.5 or 4, something like that. So if you're asking me, could I beat Ryu? You know, have you ever seen the game Street Fighter?
I played that mad times.
Yeah, if you asking me, could I beat one of those dudes? No. If I was a character on the game, I legit would struggle against all those dudes.
I would play if I ever got back into the fighting game tournament. Most of the characters I play as are the ones that you can pick up and play easily.
Right.
Your Shoto characters.
Right. And I'm just saying, and chat, the only I'm answering because King Ribby asked me. But JW says Precious is now a priority to sign, just as well as OG Anunoby. Yes, JW. I'm glad you mentioned that, right? I'm glad you mentioned that. Right, because during the game, during the live stream, I was just up here just chilling out, man, like doing homework, watching the game, calling what I saw. I honestly think that Precious Achua is a priority sign. I think you have to sign you have to sign Hartenstein and OG Anunoby. Bring them back. You got to. Right. I think you have to. If you're legit in the place that you think you are, right? So Mets, if this is smoke and mirrors, then you don't have to sign OG Anunoby. I mean, you don't have to sign President Chu, I'm sorry. Right? But if you honestly believe that you can contend for a championship, I think it's paramount that you sign Precious Achua back.
I also agree with that because it's especially vital to sign Precious because during this past offseason, you got rid of your key backup to Randall and Toppin. So, and where Achua does a lot more of what Obi couldn't do, i.e., get rebounds, provide blocks, do something other than dunks when he's point blank to the net. He's not a good 3-point shooter. I'll have that as a major knock against Achua. But he does all the things Obi couldn't do. So it's vital that you sign him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think so we got enough money to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll have the money to do it. Don't let the money conversation scare you, bro.
So
I
like
think
12
Cap
million?
necessary for it.
say it
We
again.
have the cap necessary for it, which is
Yeah.
far more than what I can say for Buffalo.
Right. But what I'm saying to King Ribby is teams that want to bring back the teams that they want, they'll pay that luxury tax.
Nah,
They don't care.
I know.
Right. Like the dude in Phoenix, the dude in Phoenix, the owner, Matt Ishbia said he don't care anything about the new CBA, bro. He is gonna put the best team possible on the floor and live with the tax bill.
What's
Right?
the new? What's the new?
Golden
collective
State,
bargaining-
Golden State owner says the same thing. And if Dolan sees this team make it to the Eastern Conference Finals or deeper, right? He's gonna do the same thing.
at minimum.
Yep. 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 It's just a part of it. I mean, what's the alternative is let them walk and backfill the roster in the draft and hope your young draft picks can play like OG Anunoby from day one. You know, you draft a guy and hope the young guy that you draft can play like Precious Achua from day one. Right. And the thing about it is you don't know that they can. You're taking a gamble that they can.
Yeah. Right.
So do you re-sign OG, Precious, and Hartenstein, knowing what you already have, or do you take a gamble on young players backfilling the roster and hope they're ready to roll from day one?
Second thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Sherwin says, when Kimba retire, he will have arthritis. Wait a minute. Wait, not that one, the other one. That is Kimba lost his game. No con. Yeah, man. Hey, and Sherwin, imagine if Jordan would have gave him the max contract he wanted. That would have been the worst contract in NBA history. Y'all remember that? Remember when Kimba wanted that 5-year, $241 million from Charlotte, and then Charlotte traded him for Terry Rozier? As Knicks fans, we have to kind of dodge those type of signings. Trini is in the building.
That's when he got traded and went to Boston, right?
Yeah. Charlotte did a sign and trade.
And
They
then
did a
that's
sign
when
and
we
trade.
got him. And
Yeah. That's when
Fournier.
Charlotte got it. Yeah.
Bums.
Yeah. All right. So what's the future look like? Since we got the Magic conversation out of the way, what's the short-term future look like?
Randall, Mitch, OG all come back. This team gets back to full power. We plow through near the end of in the home stretch. Get at least the 3 seed at maximum.
All right.
You think so? Mets?
I'm not going to push my expectations. We screwed up getting the 2 seed. I don't see us getting higher than 3 at this point.
Right. Yeah, I think Fortune screwed us. You know, not Fortune. What's the other word? Not Fortune. What's the word I'm looking for?
Misfortune? Misfortune?
Misfortune. Maybe misfortune? It was another word. I can't call it. I can't call the word right now. But basically, it's like Destiny saw that we wanted to be the number 1 seed, and they were like, no.
Nah, man.
Yeah.
They put a brick wall up on us saying, nah.
Right. And then where we are also, so we have a game Sunday against Philadelphia. They're struggling.
Yeah,
right?
that's a win. Both of them games.
Yeah, and so I don't want to count the chickens before they hatch, right? Because in theory, Philadelphia is in this. If you're a Knicks fan and you think your back is up against the wall, Imagine having the league MVP and the same aspirations as the Knicks, and the reigning league MVP is out. Right? Their back is up against the wall also. They're going to have to scratch and claw for every inch because in theory, if the Knicks sweep the 76ers, we can push them into a scenario where they might be in the play-in.
I think they're already in the play-in based by mathematics.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So if you're Philadelphia, you're desperate. If you're Philly, you're desperate, right?
Yeah, I mean, you've got Indiana breathing down your neck, half a game behind you for the top play-in spot. You're down in the tiebreaker to Miami.
Yeah, man.
So how do you fight back from this situation if you're the Sixers? You're basically in a similar position to the Knicks, but worse because your top scorer since Embiid went out, Maxey, he's concussed.
Right.
Yeah, I don't see the Sixers doing nothing.
So let me put a rock in your shoe real quick. King Ribby, will you allow me to put a rock in your shoe?
Sure.
Emmanuel Quickly against the Phoenix Suns on Thursday night had 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 18 assists. RJ Barrett had 23 points on 16 shots and had 4 assists.
Shit.
Right? And yet OG Anunoby has been out going on 7 weeks. Do you think the Knicks regret doing the OG Anunoby trade?
Yeah and no. Yes and no.
It can't be yes or no, bro. It's either
all right. I mean, they trying to make a push for the championship in my eyes. So I guess trading RJ and Quickly, I think that was the best move. I didn't like it. I still don't like it. I hate it, but I gotta get over it.
Okay. I think I'm with Sherwin on this one. No. I absolutely don't regret the OG Anunoby trade. And here's why. It's one simple answer for me. Precious Achiuwa.
Yeah.
With that said, we do regret trading Malachi Flynn along with Grimes and Fournier just to get Burks and Bojan. More so with Burke shipping out Flynn for Burks.
Bro, yeah.
If it had just been Grimes and Fournier for Bojan, then I would have been fine with it.
To be honest, in my opinion, I would have rather trade RJ for OG, keep Quickly, in some way get Precious.
Yeah.
That would have required coughing up a draft pick, and I didn't want that.
Yeah. And see, now you're talking about, in that scenario, you're talking about Hannah Montana. You ever saw that TV show, Hannah Montana?
I hated that show. My little sister loved it as a kid when she was a kid.
Right. And so the point that I'm getting at is you get, in every Hannah Montana episode, you get offered one challenge. But Hannah Montana, the writers for Hannah Montana, always want to give you what's called the best of both worlds. Right?
I like the annoying opening theme song.
So when you watch the show, after you watch the show 3 times or so, if you've seen the show 3 or 4 times, you know they're going to get one challenge, one serious challenge, and the answer to that challenge is always going to be, well, it's yes and no. Well, it's the best of both worlds, right?
Sweet niblets.
Yeah, and so it's one of those. It's when I asked the question, I knew that it was a polarizing question, right? And the challenge was, can I get King Ribby to answer the question honestly, right? you know, and I think you did, bro. You know, honestly, I think you do the trade every time, just like it is, right? You don't revise it. You do the trade absolutely the way that the trade went down, because for one, you got a young player that's developing under Tom Thibodeau right in front of your face, and he's going to wind up being a great NBA starter, right? And that's Precious Achua.
You think so?
Yeah. Did you see him tonight? Were you not
But you,
impressed?
oh no, but you think he's gonna be a starter though?
Yes. Not for the Knicks.
But for another team?
Yeah, I think he's going to be a starting level player in the NBA. Maybe not for the Knicks, right? Because Julius Randle's an all-star. There is not even a conversation there. Julius Randle's a 3-time all-star, and he's not even 30.
How old? I cut you off. How old is Precious?
24, 25.
So he's signing for a 4-year contract. He's going 29, and then I don't see that. I don't see that happening.
No, it's because you're thinking linear. You're thinking in a straight line, right? And what I'm saying is don't think in a straight line, right? Think non-binary, right? Like think about all the possibilities,
So
right?
it's a possibility somebody get traded for him in a
Yeah, like
package or something
somebody
like that.
overpay us for him. Yeah. Yeah. Say somebody offers you RJ Barrett for him. Would you do it?
Nah, I ain't doing it.
Yeah, say somebody offers you Emmanuel Quickly for him. Would you do it? Say
Yeah,
somebody says,
I do the quickly one.
say somebody
You need a bench.
says, well, okay, I'll tell you what. Give me Precious Achua and Bogey, and 4 first-round picks for Spider. Would you do it? Donovan Mitchell.
No.
Yeah.
Right. Just the fact that it's a consideration, just the fact that it's a consideration means that man rehabbed his value. Remember, he's 24 and this is his 3rd team. And the fact that he could even be mentioned, right? The fact that he could even be mentioned in a Donovan Mitchell trade is significant. It's like asking somebody, like I asked my daughter one time when she was a kid, I asked her, what would you rather have? Would you rather have 2 $2 bills or 1 $5 bill? Right? And on the surface, 5 is more than 4, right?
Yeah, but them $2 bills hit different.
Those $2 bills are rare, right? Those $2 bills are rare. So even though they're worth $2, they're not really worth $2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, JW says Precious is a double-digit rebounder as well as a scorer who can defend 3 positions. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. And listen, you got to give Tom Thibodeau credit for helping develop Precious Achua, because Precious Achua never showed any of this stuff consistently in any other place. Because if he had, he would either still be in Miami or he would still be in Toronto.
Yeah.
Right? Marco Polo's in the building. Was good. Sherman says Precious will be a double-double guy with great defense. Yep. And you know what? People are willing to pay for that. But if you're the Knicks, Sherwin, if you're the Knicks, what type of contract do you offer Precious Achua in the offseason?
Not to cut you off. Was he a first rounder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was he a lottery pick? I think so. I think he was I think so. Sherwin says Precious never got the minutes, right? And you know what that says to me? That says to me that Precious was a diamond in the rough, and we polished him up into a diamond here. At some point, we got to give we got to give the Knicks credit for something eventually, right? We can't always say, "Oh, over there is better." At some point, you have to say, and for instance,
That's
we
because
can't
Siakam.
always say, "I'd rather watch ESPN than watch Mets." Nah, man, let's listen to what Mets have to say, man. Before you judge, listen, right? Listen to people that are invested in this team. We're like, I'd rather go watch the pretty girls on ESPN. They don't know what they're talking about, but it's ESPN.
In other words, there are people who would rather be suckered and placated just for the promise of fan service, rather than just hearing people lay down the law as to what's going on with a team.
Yeah. And Sherwin says, if I'm Precious's agent, I'm not taking less than $14 million.
Bucks just took the lead, by the way. It's now 120-118.
No, well. Yeah. The only thing about Precious that's different than the other guys is going to Memphis. People thought Precious was 6'10", 6'11", and he wound up being 6'8". And then he also Precious played, I think he played beside either Wiseman or Duran. One of them. I think he played next to Wiseman. I think he played with next to Wiseman, and Wiseman missed all that time. I think Wiseman got suspended or whatever. And Precious Achiuwa wound up being a better NBA player than James Wiseman, at least to this point.
Fuck.
And Just Nick says, choose Precious or Hartenstein. That's tough, right? But out of respect for what Just Nick is asking,
hot. Yeah.
my preference, and y'all and listen, and y'all will see. But look, I'm gonna be consistent with the way I've been talking about these guys, right? There's nothing against Precious or nothing against Hartenstein. But consistently for the last 2 years, I've been saying the Knicks need a jumbo wing player to back up Randall. It's the reason why I was at the beginning of the season, I was naming names like Nathan Knight and Isaiah Roby. And I was also saying in Tom Thibodeau's schemes that I don't want to put that much money into centers because centers stay hurt in Tom Thibodeau's schemes. And now y'all have heard me say that about at least 20 times since we've been kicking it. And it's nothing to do with Hartenstein. If we had a different coach, I may go Hartenstein. But based on this system that Tibbs is running, I think we need jumbo wings, right? The big 6'8", 6'9" guys that can guard Giannis, Tatum, Paolo, Siakam, and all the big jumbo wings in our division.
Paolo.
Right. And the detraction to that is in that same system that you need guys that can guard Tatum and Siakam and Giannis and Paolo, right? We don't face that many centers that can dominate us. Like there's Embiid, but he's often hurt. Porzingis is often hurt. And do you really want to put $30 million into the center position between two guys?
No.
Yeah, if it was Jokic.
But he's not in our division.
I'm just saying if.
Yeah, I'm talking about
it was
the
a
guys.
fifth.
I'm talking about the guys that we're going to square up against 16 times a year. So it's 5 teams in our division. We're going to play them 4 times a year. In theory, outside of the in-season tournament, right? In theory, you're going to play them. You're going to play the division 16 times, right? Are you going to play Jokic 16 times? No. But are you going to play a Jason Tatum like guy maybe 6 times? Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna play Paolo. I mean, not Paolo. I'm sorry. You're gonna play Tatum. Well, I don't know because our division traded away guys. So I may have to rethink that. But you'll have to see him in the playoffs, though.
Yeah.
So, if we had a different coach, right? We had a different coach that didn't value defense in that type of way, I would. If you're asking me who would I rather keep, of course I'd rather keep Hartenstein than Precious on a personal level, right? It's just because I've known Hartenstein's been here 2 years, Precious has been here 2 months, right? I mean that's true, right?
Yeah.
That's like saying if somebody started getting on the live stream 2 days ago and I would prefer them over y'all. Would that seem fair to y'all? Nah, of course not. You know what I'm saying? So on that person, you know how you get connected to your players or whatever. And we all have a connection. We all have connections to players, whether we want to admit it or not. A lot of times people say, I prefer the name on the front of the jersey than the back of the jersey. They say that, but then when the game is going on, they scream at the name on the back of the jersey all game.
Exactly.
What is Randall doing? What is Josh Hart doing? What is Mitchell Robinson doing? They rarely say, yo, what are the Knicks doing? What are the Knicks doing? So it's one of those situations where I like Hartenstein slightly more than I like Precious Achua. And it's nothing against Precious. It's just I've been watching Hartenstein longer. It's the human element. But if you're talking about schematically, then Precious, just because he fits better. If that answer did any justice to your question.
Now that my last question, you think Hartenstein contract is gonna be more than Precious?
I think they're going to be about the same.
You
I think
sure for real?
Yeah, I think they're going to be about the same. Right. And the reason why I say they're going to be about the same is because both of these dudes were buried on somebody's bench. They came here, we gave them the opportunity to showcase what they have. Right? Now, they can leave for more money and take the risk of going back and sitting on somebody's bench, or they can stay here in their current role and ball out for people that like them.
I think,
Right?
in my opinion, iHeart stay because his injuries and stuff like that.
That too, yeah. That too. Yeah, that too, man. I'm with you. So Ricky says Precious gives me Kurt Thomas vibes. I think so. Yeah, he gives. Yeah, that dude that's gonna hustle all over the floor. Don't care about the matchup. He's gonna go out there and guard whoever. Right? He don't care. He gonna go out there and guard whoever. Right? That's just what it is. And King Ribby, if you could compare Precious Achua to a Street Fighter character, which character would it be?
A Street Fighter character?
Yeah, you heard me.
Damn.
Yo, I know you're gonna say Blanca. I know you're gonna say Blanca, bro. Go ahead and say
Yeah. I mean, that's. I guess that's the only one.
So you saying I read your mind, bro? It's that easy.
Nah,
If
it's
you
not
had to
that.
compare
But
Precious Achua to a Street Fighter character, who would it be?
I would say either Blanca at best, at worst. I mean, when he's having one of his really off days. You're familiar with Dan Hibiki, right?
No.
He's a joke character that Capcom created in response to SNK's Art of Fighting characters being a blatant ripoff of Capcom's characters. Basically, he's a guy who had no knowledge in fighting, when compared, who wanted to take revenge against Sagat for killing his father right in front of him. So he travels to Japan to find Goken's dojo, but Goken kicks him out because he doesn't want his teachings to be used for vengeance. So then Dan creates his own fighting style, which is a combination of what little of the Otsutsuken he did pick up and some Muay Thai called the Saikyo Ryu fighting style. And while that name sounds cool on paper, the fighting style flat out sucks.
Oh.
King
Well,
Ribby would know what I'm talking about.
I would agree with King Ribby on this one. I think it's Blanca. Right? I think it's I don't think it's a measured style like Gao. I don't think it's an ancient fighting style
Just
like
scratch
Ryu
it.
and Ken. Right? I don't think it's magic like M. Bison. Right? I don't think it's athleticism like Vega.
Actually, Bison's case, it was weaponizing the negative energy of his soul. It's not magic.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me.
Trust me, it's not magic.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. So everybody, that's all I got, man. I'm gonna get out of here and enjoy the rest of my Friday night. Thank y'all, everybody, for rocking and coming through and hanging out with us. If you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel where you can hear Mets talk that talk the way that you like to have that talk to you. Hit that like button, and we are gonna holler at y'all later. Peace, everybody.